Hello and welcome to this presentation of a 2016 child theme. Now, first of all, we need to know why we need a child theme, and that's simply because this is the 2016 theme running on my Wordpress site here. And it's very nice, and I'm going to customize it within the options given to me. But I already know that there are things that I want to change about this theme, which I cannot change in the customize options. I need to go in and change the style code and the functions that work within the theme. Now, that's quite fine. It's open source. I can go in, I can change the theme however I like. The problem is, if that theme is updated in the future, and it quite likely will be, any changes that I give will be overwritten by an update, or worse still, I will not do the update because I don't want to lose my changes. Both those situations are bad. So we need with WordPress a way that we can create our own themes based on another theme so that the parent theme, as it's called, can be updated in the future and our changes will still be active. And that's what we use when we call a theme a child theme. So this child theme over here, which I've created, is almost empty. All it actually does is it gives me a screenshot and a few commands referring back to the adult theme. Let me show you how child themes work. Okay, so this is the basic logic. And I'd like to put a disclaimer in here to say this is not exactly how it works technically, but from a practical point of view, this is how I show it to people. We have a request for a page here. What happens is the system says, is there a child theme that will perform that command? And if there is, then that child theme template is displayed. If there isn't, then you're asked, is there a parent theme template for that action? And if there is, that parent template theme is activated. If neither is available, then we go back down the list of dependencies and we go for the next page request. Why do we need to go back down the list of page requests? Because WordPress is a very simple layout. And it means that we can get away with just one template file for the entire site. But if you want to have a separate template file for pages, we just create a template file for pages. And if we want a separate template file for posts, we create one for posts. Then if you want to be more specific, have a template file for a specific page, we can create a template file for a specific page. But we only actually need the one template file for a basic version of WordPress. And that is why you will go down the list of possible templates until one is available. And if they're available in both the parent and the child theme, then the child theme takes precedence. In that way, we can create template files to overwrite what the parent theme is doing with our own version without having to touch the rest of the system. So a child theme is installed exactly the same way as any other theme. You go to the themes menu on your WordPress and you choose add a theme, and you then upload the theme that you need. And that's what I've already done. And that's given me my child theme over here. And I can now activate my child theme. And it now takes precedence over the parent theme. But as I said, it doesn't do anything at the moment. It just defines the basic functions to show you. So we go back into the dashboard we can have a look at how it's created. Now, there are two ways we can look at this. If you go to Appearance, you should be able to look at the contents of the files with your editor. But I'm going to show you another way of doing it using a code editor because it looks more presentable. Okay, so I have two projects defined here. The 2016 project, which has the original source files of the 2016 theme, and my 26 child theme, which has the basic versions for my 2016 child theme, which you can download off the website so you can play around with it too. So if we have a look at the source files, these are the files here for the 2016 theme, and you see there's various files here. Now we were talking about precedence of files. There's the index.php, which is the main central file for loading pages. You see there's one here called footer, which surprisingly enough has the code for what the footer will look like. There should be a search box here. There's one for the sidebar. It shows you the sidebar, and of course with the header there's also a footer. These are the basic parts of WordPress creating the pages that you see. And I said about there being different priorities. Well, you see this theme has a index file, but it also has a page file. So pages will be defined by the contents of this file, and single posts will be defined by the contents of this file here, and a list of archives will be shown by these file here. And if you have an error page, 404 error, page not found, it's defined by this page here. Now, that's very different to what we've put in the child theme, because the child theme actually currently comprises of 3 files. And in fact, one of them isn't even needed. So the one isn't needed is the screenshot.png. You don't really need that file, but we've got that file so that we have an image so that when we flip over to the themes, I can remember where it is. Over here. And we have a nice PNG background for it. But otherwise, it's not actually needed. The 2 files that are needed are functions.php and style.css. And we'll look at style.css first because it's the most important one. It has this section of code here. And this is almost meta code, really. This is telling the WordPress what the theme is called, the theme name, the link to the site that it came from, you can change that. The description of what it is, you can change that as well. The author, you can change that as well. The URI to the author, so that's a link to the author's page, you can change that as well. Template, now this is important and you shouldn't change this because that template 2016 is the key command that's telling WordPress that I am a child of 2016 and go and find 2016 because that is the file that I'm working with. Version number is only needed when you're updating and you want the system to realize that you have a later version if you're doing updating. And then this little code here just basically is just a comment to remind me that you put your CSS in after there. So this style sheet is the header block to describe where we are connecting to and who's made it and things like that. The other end of the system is the functions.php, and this is where PHP code is put in. Now, I've only got one set of code in here, and I have it in here because this is to sort out the priorities of the style sheets. So I have a function here which is telling me then it's going to be added to the enqueue scripts. You don't have to understand. The nice thing about WordPress is you can use code like this without having to understand exactly how it works. But in simple terms, this add action is going to add our function that we have defined below. And this is our function that's defined below. And all the function defined below does is it uses this enqueue style command, which is a new feature of WordPress in the last few years. It replaces the @import we used to use for style sheets. And what this does is the second line takes our child style, which we've defined, out the style sheet directory, which is the directory where our files are sitting in our child theme, and basically adds the style commands to WordPress so that when a WordPress page is loaded, it will add those style commands. Because that's all we want to do. All we want to do is overwrite the styles. However, the other thing we want to do though is we want to make sure that when our style commands are added to WordPress, they are after the style commands of the parent theme. And the sneaky way of making sure that happens is to specifically, bring in the parent theme commands ourselves. And that's what this line before does. It specifically calls up the style of the 2016 theme. Now, if we didn't use this command, this first one command here, WordPress would still pull in this style sheet for us because the 2016 theme, parent theme, will request it. But by us requesting it, and remember we have override power over the theme, by us calling it first, we're able to make sure that it's put before our child theme. So doing it this order means 2016 style will be put in the queue to be added to a page, and then our child theme will be added in the queue to be put on the page after. If we don't put this in, you will find that WordPress will throw them all out and you will find they're the wrong around. And let me try and show you that how that works. Okay, so here's our theme. If I can get my cursor back onto my multi-screen computer, go and visit the site. Now, if we do a right click and view page source, and we go and find style.cs, right, there it is. So there is, you can see that line there. Don't worry about the URL. This is my funny test server. But there is the command there, adding in the 2016 theme. And just below it is the child theme being added in. So ours is after the parent. Therefore, ours will have the rights to change what the parent shows. That means that we can change any style here and overwrite what the theme does. And you will see a collection of videos separately where I've got some little tweaks to show you some of the neat things you can do.
For more info, visit wpbusinessclub.com.